She the queen, yeah, that's Queen Esquire. Legal trouble, she getting you out the fire. Another dame, she solving another case. Cause she litigate with dignity and grace. She the queen, yeah, that's Queen Esquire. Legal trouble, she getting you out the fire. Another dame, she solving another case. Cause she litigate with dignity and grace.
Hello, litigators and opinionators. Court is now in session, my lovelies. So there has been some slight updates and clarifications in this case. We have had a lot of people out there who have nothing better to do but to judge this family, constantly ridicule them. And even individuals who donated money are constantly harassing this family about every single detail. So the family has posted something on their Instagram that I would like us to go over, announcing who their attorney is in the flyer. And it appears they have already retained two different attorneys. One of them we are already familiar with, who has already been speaking on their behalf. On their Instagram, we also have been provided with 3 different addresses that we can be mailing letters to request justice in this case. So it's wonderful that they're also providing us with that information. So let's get started. This is going to be a quick update, y'all. Not going to take all your time. So this is on Shanquella's sister's Instagram here. She is a great resource to keep updated on what's going on. So the first thing we can see here that I want to share with you guys was posted about 6 days ago. And here she has provided us with 3 different addresses that we can mail letters to on behalf of Shanquella asking for justice. And I think we need to start doing this regularly, pushing out these letters. So the first address here is the Mexican authorities, which we've talked about in my last live, is that one of the main reasons that I suspect, and even Nancy Grace's experts suspect, is that the Mexican authorities are one of the sources for why justice is not being done in this case. They're playing a little game with the language as it relates to the criminal charges. They know good and well, based upon the treaty, there are certain charges that they can file that the United States is in agreement with, and femicide is not in that list. So it appears as though they kind of filed these charges in a bogus attempt to just basically pretend as though they are trying to seek justice for Shanquella, when in reality they are not. So you can send a letter to Mexican authorities. It's called Mexican Police Department Head Office. And here is the address here. I can't even pronounce it, you guys. Pericio Cerno 3648, Mexico City, Mexico. So that's the first address there that you can send a letter to. Now, I've given you guys other addresses and sources that you can send letters to as well. I recommend you also send to those sources also, not just this source. You can just add these addresses to your already existing list of addresses I provided on previous lives. Address number 2 that you should be mailing letters to is the President of the United States. We need to get Biden involved in this. I mean, he needs to do something. He needs to stand up for this family. I don't know what, if anything, he's done. I haven't heard his input at all. And to me, this is a national case that needs attention. So let's flood his letters. Let's flood his desk with some letters. So we have here the President of the United States, the White House, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, Northwest Washington, D.C. That's another address you can send your letters to. And the third address here is the Embassy of Mexico in Washington, D.C. You definitely want to mail them. This is 1911 Pennsylvania Avenue and MW, and that's in Washington, D.C. These are the 4 important addresses that the family would like you to mail your letters to, asking for justice. I need all of us to unify together. Now, as it relates to the family, this is an update on the family here. On March 3rd, 2023 at 10:30 a.m., they plan to, and they give the address here, 633 Pennsylvania Avenue, Northwest Floor 2, Washington, D.C., 2004. They are going to be going there to Washington, D.C., and they're going to be marching. It's going to be a big protest, just a big stance for justice. And you can see here on this flyer, they have already announced to us who their attorneys are, because we've had so many people whining and crying saying, what are they doing with the GoFundMe? And then they kept picking on Ben Crump. Why isn't Ben Crump in this? Well, Ben Crump right here, it says Ben Crump Esquire, co-counsel for Shanquella Robinson family. They have explicitly stated here that Ben Crump is one of their 2 attorneys. The second attorney is one we are already familiar with. Sue Ann Robinson attorney. She's the second attorney for Shanquella Robinson's family. And then the third, the second one. So we've got 2 different attorneys here that are already representing the family. That is some of the, where some of the money is going regarding the GoFundMe. Attorneys are very expensive. I can speak for myself as a practicing attorney for about 10 years. Yes, we are very expensive. So that money is really going to be handy to pay these 2 attorneys that they have retained for themselves. Ben Crump, Esquire. A lot of people kept complaining, how come Ben Crump's not involved, blah, blah, blah. Well, he's clearly one of their attorneys already representing them. And they made it a point to emphasize this on the flyer because they already hear what's going on in these YouTube streets with these impatient, toxic individuals out here harassing this family. So they made it a point to put on the flyer who their 2 attorneys are. Sue Ann Robinson Esquire is their second attorney for the Robinson family. It's interesting because this individual here, this attorney, she also shares the same last name, Robinson. So I wonder if Sue Ann Robinson is one of the family members of the Robinson's family. That is a question I have, that maybe one of their family members are an attorney and is representing the family. They've retained one of their family members who's an attorney. That's a question I have. I don't know if that's true, but quite interesting that they share the same name. Some other individuals that will be present during this public outcry that will be done in Washington, D.C. at the White House, y'all, will be Tamika D. Mallory, co-founder of Until Freedom, Angelo Pinto. He is another attorney, co-founder of Until Freedom. So, and Tamika Mallory is an attorney and Angelo. So we've got at least 4 listed attorneys here that will be there. Akusua Ali, NAACP, DC president, will be present. We got a lot of prominent figures. Mario Black, Million Youth March of Charlotte. Mario has been very dedicated to the Robinson family, and he was a part of leading that march to the mailbox to mail those letters to Mexico. And then John C. Barnett is the True Healing Under God representative. So we've got a lot of prominent figures. We've got tons of attorneys involved. And this flyer here, to me, is a declaration to the world and to these complaining individuals out here who got so much to say who their attorneys are, that they have at least 2 attorneys that they have retained. Ben Crump, and Ben Crump is not cheap given his very skilled, long history of extensive litigation. He is expensive. The more experienced the attorney, the more expensive money-wise you're going to have to pay for that attorney. And he has quite a few decades of experience in litigation. So he's going to be quite expensive. But they also have retained the second attorney, Sue Ann Robinson. Now, again, in the back of my head, I'm wondering if Miss Robinson is related to the Robinson family. Not that it matters, but it's just interesting information to determine if, maybe one of their family members is an attorney and they retained them as their attorney. Nothing wrong with that. Just, an extra detail to learn. So I think this is amazing, guys. They're really taking some pivotal steps. They will be going to, it looks like that's the address of the White House, y'all. Is that the White House address? Let me see. White House. I think they're going to the White House, y'all, which is a good thing. A good thing. They will be in Washington, D.C. Yep, 1600. Oh, no, it's not the White House. 633 Pennsylvania, because the address for the White House is 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. But either way, y'all, they're about to be in Washington, D.C. So it looks like they're trying to really get to the president to be like, you need to do something. And I really hope if people are in the Washington, D.C. area. Oh, March 3rd is tomorrow, y'all. No, sorry, March 3rd is Friday. There's not enough time, y'all. March 3rd is Friday. So if you are in Washington, guys, and you are passionate about this case on Friday, you need to be at 633 Pennsylvania in Washington over there. And that is the National Council of Negro Women. That address that I just referenced, it's the actual National Council of Negro Women. That's where they're all going to be meeting to ask for justice for Shanquella Robinson. But I'm glad, like, some details we found out as who their attorneys are, because we had all these people over here crying and whining. Who's their attorneys? They do not have to tell you everything about what they're doing, but they made it a point to announce this on this flyer so that people would just hush their mouth. Okay. Now we know who their attorneys are. Please stop asking this question. It's on the flyer. We know Ben Crump is on the case. He's representing the family, and they have another attorney who shares the same last name as themselves. So here's some people who've commented on this. Somebody said, Lord, do it. Another person said, I get so angry that the Cabo Six has not been arrested. They could have done something. It could have been done something. Even the U.S., they planned it here. Good, because ain't no way they think they're going to get away with unaliving her, and Mexico needs to pick up their feet, right? They do. Every state should be organizing some type of pressure on USA, Mexico, and the sorry six. I agree with this person right here who said every state should be organizing some type of pressure. I feel like this case has really died down. People stopped talking about the case, and that's why it's pretty much come to a standstill. As I mentioned, the only way we're really going to see any movement is when people make an outcry. I mean, look what happened with Ahmaud Arbery. That case would have never went anywhere but for the protests and the outcry. Look what happened with George Floyd. That case would have never gone anywhere but for the protests. Breonna Taylor, same thing. Nothing would have happened but for us unifying together and making our voices heard. So I am very proud of them taking this step. You can already see the prominent figures here. We've at least have 3 attorneys that will be present this Friday. With a lot, even the NAACP DC president is going to be there. That's pretty significant. So people who are whining and crying say, well, how come we don't have some of these Black leaders? Well, we have the NAACP's president that is going to be there in support. Again, as it relates to this address here, I will show you where that address is just so you can know what building it is. It's the National Council of Negro Women. That is the same address here. So you know where to go. If you are in that area on Friday at 10:30 a.m., that's where you will be headed, to the National Council of Negro Women. There needs to be more numbers. Here's the number for that building too, is 202-737-0120. If you want to call over there to figure out more details about what's going to be happening there. But I am seeing, I just feel sad though. I feel sad because the numbers have truly dwindled, and I am just hoping to God somehow, some way this case picks up more passion again, because it has truly, the fire and the passion for this case has fallen by the wayside, and that is what's really going to stop the flow of the case. We need more people, and you can see here she posted it in her story, but we need more people unifying together. If we don't see that, you're going to see a significant pause in the progress of the case, because you have to put pressure on the officials. You have to give attention to them, and you have to show that you're not satisfied until some type of justice or action is taken. If you do not, and there's not the numbers that are needed, this case will just sit there and continually be neglected. Now, we're here on Shanquella Robinson's mother's page. You can see that 3 hours ago, she also has posted the same flyer here to show, and also to announce to the world, these nosy folks out here who can't seem to just mind their own business. I'm just saying, these people lost a very special person to them, and instead of trying to be empathetic, they're over here harassing them about who's representing them. And people kept complaining, how come Ben Crump? Well, Ben Crump is on the case, y'all. I don't want to hear that anymore. Ben Crump is officially announcing that he is co-counsel for the Shanquella Robinson family. So he is their attorney. And you already know when he's on the case, it's going to attract publicity. So expect on Friday for there to be news stations there. I believe hopefully we'll get a lot more attention back on the case. Hopefully it'll be a press conference. Let's hope that Ben Crump will be giving some type of speech. As you guys are aware, Ben Crump was recently awarded an award at the NAACP Image Awards for his litigation and just civil rights. So I think that gives him that notoriety and the backing to hopefully bring in more crowds on Friday, which I am happy about. And I'm happy that he's, come out. There's been confirmation that he's representing them. So Ben Crump, you guys know, he uses the Image Award speech to pledge fight for Black history in schools and other things. He's done a lot of great things. People like to give this guy flack, but they just don't understand attorneys, and they just think, oh, he's out here to get money. No, he's an attorney. He should be paid for his skills, his hard work, his intelligence. Okay. Practicing as an attorney is not easy. It's very long, tedious research, writing, drafting. You gotta pay all your staff that are researching in the work, and his team. So yes, it's going to cost money to retain any attorney. But why is it when it's a Black attorney, people have a problem paying the attorney? They have to say, oh, they're a money grab. If this was a white attorney, we wouldn't hear anything about people complaining about paying them. But when it comes to a Black person, all of a sudden people have an issue with them asking to be paid their dues for their hard work. So here he was just awarded an award at the NAACP Image Awards. Here you can see, here's the photo of him just awarded this weekend at the 54th annual NAACP Image Awards. So it said that he rattled off the names of Black men and women who fought for justice against racism. He invoked a lot of names in history, such as Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass, Thurgood Marshall, Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King. You know the names. He said there were not just mere footnotes in history, but rather heroes of American history. Malcolm X was in there and so forth. And he is a Tallahassee-based civil rights attorney. But what makes this man so cool, and he received the NAACP's Social Justice Impact Award during Sunday's ceremony in Pasadena, California, used the platform to chide Florida's recent move to ban an advanced placement course on Black history after the state's Department of Education argued the course lacked educational value and historical accuracy. There's constant people that are pledging against bringing forth the truth about what happened in our country as it relates to the oppression and the continual discrimination. But he is fighting not only in his state in Florida, but this man literally travels across the U.S. representing people in all different states. Now, I don't even think he has a license to practice in North Carolina. That's another thing people, don't understand is when you're a lawyer, you have to have a bar license in each state. So you have to literally take the bar again if you go to another state, and you got to pass that bar to get a license there. So if he doesn't have the licensing to practice law in, say, North Carolina, then he can't, practice law in that state. So with that being said, that could have been another reason why they had to figure out the logistics with that whole situation. But he also, you can see he goes to different states representing different people. He's representing the Tyree Nichols family in Tennessee. But that's why you notice he has a lot of co-counsels. The reason why he's always having a lot of co-counsels is because he may not have bar licensing in some of these states where he's practicing. So he has to have an attorney that has a license in that particular state to be the lead attorney while he's, being the supportive attorney. He has to practice basically under that other person's license if the law permits him to do that. Basically, that's another kind of nuance about that whole situation. But you can see this man is making impact in civil justice across the United States. We don't see that often from attorneys. I just think it's great to know and confirm that he is on the case, y'all. He is officially their attorney. That is one of their attorneys. The policy change makes Florida the first state in the country to ban the advanced placement African American studies course, a move that has sparked swift outrage, protests, and national attention. That's pretty sad that Florida is doing that, guys. I don't stand with what they're doing. It's sad. It sounds like to be an active step towards discrimination and trying to cover up what's going on, but that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. What I just really came on here to give the updates that we know for sure who their two attorneys are now: Ben Crump, co-counsel of Shanquella Robinson family, and Sue Ann Robinson, attorney for Shanquella Robinson. So what that means is Sue Ann Robinson is their main attorney. Like I was explaining to you, Ben Crump is the co-counsel. So he can only come in as co-counsel because it appears as though what I'm getting from this is that he may not have a license to practice in North Carolina. So he needs to kind of piggyback or be under the leadership of, kind of quasi, it's kind of how I'm saying it, under an attorney who has a bar license to practice in that state. And it just depends on the law in North Carolina in terms of an out of state attorney trying to come and practice law in their state. That's why he's co-counsel. And you hear a lot of that when he's representing different people. For example, with Tyree Nichols, same situation where he has a co-counsel. A lot of times you'll see a lot of that with Ben Crump because he may not have licensing to practice in those states. I don't know all the states he has. Let me see. What? Let's look it up. What states does Ben Crump have? I know Florida he does. Law license to practice. But I think this is really good news, guys. This is really good news because I heard a lot of people saying how come he wasn't on the case. It says Ben Crump law is a national practice with law offices around the country. Even if you don't live in our locations, we still may be able to assist with your case. Contact us for free evaluation. But that doesn't mean he has law licenses in all the states. He just will have to lean upon, if he doesn't have a bar license in those states, whatever states it are, he will have to basically serve as a co-counsel. And he will reach out to whoever will be the lead counsel. In this case, Sue Ann Robinson is the main counsel, main attorney representing the Robinson family, and he is serving as co-counsel. But let's see. He practices case of blah, 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 blah. He's the founder of Intel. I know he pretty much, I can assume that he has a bar license in Florida. Let's see. It's not really giving me what I needed to give me, what licenses. And although I can look that stuff up, I didn't take the time to do it. But we can at least infer that he does have a bar license in Florida, of course, but he doesn't in those other states, which is why you will normally see him serve as co-counsel in some of the states where he may not have a bar license. I'm just speculating that he may not have a bar license in North Carolina, which is why Sue Ann Robinson is the main attorney representing the Robinson family, and he is serving as a co-counsel for the family. So that's a good thing, guys. We've got Ben Crump on this case, which I believe it's going to draw a lot of attention. You already know he always comes bringing the media with him. So that's a good thing for this case, guys, this tragedy. I expect Friday, in my humble opinion, I hope for it to draw a lot of media coverage because Ben Crump will be there. I'm pretty sure he's going to give a speech, and you know the news outlets are going to be there. So I think this might, from my opinion, be a pretty big event for Shanquella. I just hope it puts pressure on the right authorities, guys. That's what my prayer is. But as I mentioned, guys, the problem is Mexico. Got to watch my video that I talked about. The problem is Mexico. They filed the wrong charge. That's really where this case is, in my humble opinion. It hasn't been solidified that that's the reason, but I'm just giving a humble opinion based upon the information out there and the experts that have already analyzed, in their opinion, and given their background, dealing with these type of cases. So that's just an opinion, guys, from an expert, from Nancy Grace, that I agree with him. Good morning, guys. Hi, guys. Good evening. Hi, Christine. Oh, I've missed you, Missy. It is so wonderful to see you in the chat. Hi, Brownie Brown. So glad you're continuing to keep up the story. Yes. This is good news, guys. We finally know who the attorneys are. There's no legal justice coming, but karma will find each other. Biden won't care. I know Biden will care if we have enough numbers. The problem is we don't have enough pressure for Biden. Now, does he really care? I don't know if he legitimately cares. He cares about his reputation, but I really don't know. I don't know. I feel like if the numbers are there and they're drawing attention to him to do something, I think he will. Thanks for keeping her story alive, Queen. Oh, no problem. This girl is my heart right here, and I'm going to keep fighting for her till the end. All right, guys. Well, that was just the update I have for tonight. I'll keep you updated on Friday when they go and have this event. We'll come back and we'll discuss the update that occurs on Friday, guys. But let me know in the chat or in the comments if you plan to attend this event. Also, please remember to contact those numbers that I just provided earlier. Let me provide them again before I leave real quick. Thanks to this is a picture of Shanquella, guys. This was 7 days ago. This is her graduation picture. You guys, we got to fight for this girl, y'all. What happened to her was wrong. Her life was snuffed out because of pure jealousy, y'all. Pure jealousy. Here's some updates too. Here's photos of, you see all the Shanquella Robinson sweaters. These are so cute. Those are all pictures of Shanquella, and they all came out together. This was the day that they went out and mailed the letters, and they kind of went out for dinner and everything like that. to unify together. But look at this group right here is not enough, y'all. People have just literally neglected this case. This case has fallen by the waysides. No one's really talking about it. It's just really heartbreaking, guys. Very heartbreaking. Here's another photo here. And they got the Justice for Shanquella. I'm not seeing any of that anymore. The Justice for Shanquella just stopped. Here's a picture of Shanquella that her mom is posting. Her mom is just trying to keep her daughter's story alive as much as she can. Quella the boss, she posted that on February 17th, trying to keep her daughter alive. Every day she posts something about her daughter, just to really just try to keep her daughter alive and advocate somehow just for people to remember her daughter. Here's some photos she posted of her daughter throughout her years. This is Shanquella when she was little. Another picture when Shanquella was little. Another one right here with her pink. And then this is Shanquella with her nephew. Again, Shanquella on her graduation day with her little cute nephew. He's tall, but And then there's hers again with her nephew. So you could tell they were pretty close. Her nephew is is a police officer too. So, but let's go back to the sister because I want to show you this address one more time, just in case some people came to the live late. I want to show you this one more time. So these are the addresses that Shanquella Robinson's sister posted for us to mail letters to. She wants us to mail it to these 3 addresses here: the Mexican authorities, the Mexico Police Department head office here with that address, and then the President of the United States. And I'm frustrated with him too, because sometimes when you mail these letters to him, you don't even be reading them. That be getting on my nerves. They just go by the wayside. They have a whole administrative team that reads it for him. Basically, he don't read them. So that's frustrating me too. But I think if we send these letters in volumes and in droves, that will get his attention. You got to do it in volumes. It has to be numbers. The numbers. We need the numbers. And we're really not seeing that. It's just sad that people are starting to just disregard this case. You guys have to keep up the fight. You got to be consistent. That's the only way. And then the third address is the Embassy of Mexico in Washington, D.C. here, 1911 Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington, D.C., MW, Washington, D.C. So make sure you guys write these addresses down and write your letters. All you got to do is write one good letter and then just keep sending that same letter out. You don't have to keep writing different letters. Just write one letter and keep sending the same letter out. Okay? Redundantly. Just keep sending it and keep sending it and keep sending it. Okay? And we need numbers, y'all. We need all of you guys, all of us to band together and do this and keep putting the hashtag Justice for Shanquella on your social media. If you have it, let's keep being consistent. All right. I love you guys. Anybody have anything else? So Christine said, I agree with you, Queen. I pray that this good news gets the ball going, because it's not fair that the Cabo cowards are living their life and Shanquella is no longer here. I agree, Christine. It's not. They're out here really living their best life, y'all. They are living their best life. Hi, Joy Williams. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to see you, love. Oh, I missed you, sweetie. Oh, I love you too, Christine, with all my heart, y'all. I love every last one of y'all. Every last one of you. Good night, Mom D. Love you, girl. Thank you as a mom. I appreciate you keeping her alive. Yes, sweetie. Yes, sweetie. We will fight for her till the end. Okay. But guys, this is really good news. We already now know who their 2 attorneys are. This is good news. And Ben Crump is one of them. So this is really going to get the ball running. Y'all know how Ben Crump is. He don't play. He will really give some attention to this case. So I hope that he brings the media with him. I'm just saying, I hope that he does his little dramatic spiels that he be doing, y'all, that get the media roused up, because we need something, y'all. We need something. Oh, we're gonna pray for healing for our lovely Joy. She says she's fighting lupus, and I know how difficult that is, Joy. I have a friend that has lupus, so I know, and my cousin has lupus, so I know how difficult that is. And I'm praying for your strength, sweetie. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry you have lupus, but I will be praying for you, sweetie. Also, that would really help with lupus is getting on a very healthy, organic diet, and just get rid of meat and any meat products and dairy and stuff. Get rid of all that and eat a nice organic based, plant-based diet. That will really help you manage lupus. It does. I have friends that have lupus and people I know who have lupus who have told me when they, one of the things they did to help with manage the symptoms is to get on a plant-based, organic, whole food diet and get rid of all the processed foods, the meats, the dairy, all that bad stuff. It really will help you manage it. You'll be surprised the tremendous change you'll see in your body. All right. I love you guys. Y'all know I'll be rambling on. Have a good night. Take care, sweeties.